All right, hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Legacy Live. My name is Matthew Pescatori, and today we're actually going to be doing more of a cooking technique than an actual recipe. What we're going to do is called sous vide. What it means is it's French for under vacuum. And basically the way it works, you can do this with either chicken, pork, beef, steak, any type of meat or fish. Today we're going to do pork chops. These are double cut pork chops. And the way it works is basically we're going to season them, we're going to vacuum seal them, and then we're going to cook them using a sous vide machine. And the difference between this is that when you cook this way, the advantage to it is you're going to vacuum seal it, and the whole idea is to keep all the juices inside. Because usually when you, say if you grill it, you always lose moisture and sometimes it can come out dry and sometimes you overcook and undercook it. The idea behind this is that it actually cooks pretty perfect. If that's a word. So what we're going to do, we're going to vacuum seal this, and it's going to go into a pan. And this machine basically, it circulates the water and it brings it up to an exact temperature. So in this case, we're going to cook this kind of like a medium to medium well. So it'll heat the water up to 145 degrees. It actually circulates the water too, so everything stays, it cooks very even. It takes about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes to make. And then once that's done, we're basically going to pan sear it, for about maybe a minute on each side, and that's pretty much it. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to season the pork. And what I'm going to use for this is just basically salt, pepper, a little bit of thyme. You can use rosemary. You can use basically any season you want. I like to keep it simple. If you don't like thyme or rosemary, you can just do salt, pepper. So when you do it, you basically want to put a good amount on it. Make sure you cover the whole, pork. You really can't use too much. Just kind of like put it on there. Just make sure the whole thing's coated. You can see I'm using kind of a good amount of it. That's basically what it should look like. Alright, so after everything's all seasoned, next thing we're going to do is put the meat in a vacuum sealer bag, and we're going to seal it. What I like to do is take the bag and kind of fold it over, just so you don't get this dirty, because when you put it in a vacuum seal, it's going to, probably won't seal properly. You can also use a baggie. I prefer a vacuum sealer just because it takes out all the air, and it causes, once the meat's in the pan, it causes it to sink to the bottom. So if you don't have a vacuum seal, the best way to do is you put the, if you're cooking meat, fish, chicken, put it in the baggie, get a pan of water, and then you kind of take the baggie and put it in slowly, and the pressure of the water will kind of squeeze most of the air out, and then once it's, to the top, you just kind of seal it. But it's important to get as much air out as you can. Okay, so it's all sealed. Next thing I'm going to do, I like to keep it in the refrigerator for about an hour just to kind of let it marinate in the refrigerator. And then once we do that, I'll show you what the next step is. Alright, so these have been sitting in the refrigerator for about an hour. And next step, we have the sous vide machine. And what this does, it basically circulates the water. I don't know if you can see it. We have it set to 145. We're going to put these in and cook them for about, actually not cook them, we're going to let them be in the water probably for about hour 15 minutes, hour 20 minutes. And what will happen, like I said, this water is 145 degrees, obviously isn't boiling. What it's going to do is kind of bring the meat up to the temperature. And the idea behind it, you can't overcook it because of the temperature. It's only at 145 degrees. And then once this is done, we're going to take it out, we're going to give it a quick pan sear, and that's pretty much it. Alright, it's been about an hour and 15 minutes, 145 degrees. So I'm going to pull one out to show you how it looks. Basically see it's pretty much cooked. And what I'll do, I'll open it. So this is what it looks like after being in the pot, if you can see it. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to pan sear it, and that's pretty much it. So I'll show you how that's done. So this pan's probably about, I would say, at least 600 degrees. So you want it to really heat up so it sears the pork nice. Maybe for about 30 seconds, 45 seconds per side. Yeah, just a little bit of olive oil. What I usually do is just take whatever extra juice you have and you can pour it right on top. And that's it. Alright, so we're going to cut it, just show you how it looks. You can see it's perfectly cooked. Alright, so that's it for today, and I'd like to thank everyone for joining us, and don't forget, submit your recipe for our monthly recipe contest to Legacy.